welcome all our viewers to today's teachings on the Rock Channel. My name is Reverend Dr. Uche Nwachukwu, your host. I do hope you have been blessed by the teachings that are coming your way from this channel. It's a channel that believes that a life that is built on the principles and values of the Word of God is a life that is established on the rock. And that life will withstand the inevitable storms of life. Through this channel, we've been bringing across your way teachings that are based on the principles of the Word of God that touches based with so many areas of life, especially marriage. We've been running teachings on marriage because marriage was the first institution that God established after creation. Marriage is the bedrock of the home, the church, the society. And so many things are going on in marriages today all across the globe. So many marriages are in shambles. There are a whole lot of crises that are rocking marriages. The reason why God established marriage is failing man. Many couples are just putting up together. They're just managing to stay together. Many have quit. Many have parted ways. Many marriages are broken. This is not to the best interest of our relationships. And so we are bringing these teachings across your way is to help us discover how best to run our marriages so as to enjoy the blessedness of the relationship. In our last teaching, we saw the different tools for establishing emotional intimacy. The direction these teachings are taking us is to find alternative to divorce, alternative to crisis, and we have proffered intimacy as an alternative to divorce. And we are trying to figure out how to develop this intimacy. We have seen the general tools for developing intimacy generally, and we are trying to look at the different types of intimacy, knowing that there are three. The emotional intimacy, the physical intimacy, the spiritual intimacy. Each of them has its own tools for developing them. So in the last teaching, we saw the emotional intimacy. Today, we want to look at how to develop the physical intimacy. Now, I know when we talk about physical intimacy, the mind quickly runs to sex. But it is not just all that it takes in physical intimacy. Sex is not just all about physical intimacy. There are more to it. And so it extends to closeness as much as it is just the closeness in couple, the closeness, even holding hands, just merely holding hands, talks about physical intimacy. And so we are trying to see how to develop it. And now, before I go into that, there is an author called Susan Perry, in one of her write-ups on proven ways you can increase intimacy. She quoted, and I read, "If I am out and coming back home and my guy is here, it is as though this is my heaven. When I see him in a crowd or walking through the front door, I want to go up and hug him. One of the best parts of the day is getting in bed at night and hugging. And just being in each other's arms is reassuring, loving, lovely, and comforting." End of quote. Susan K. Perry. Now, physical intimacy does not just happen by chance, just like emotional intimacy. It needs to be developed. And so I'm going to run quickly to mention out or to read out the points on how to develop physical intimacy. Number one, disclose more to feel closer. Disclose more to feel closer. When couples have the habit of disclosing themselves deeper to one another, they get closer to knowing themselves. and desire to be together. You know, when you withdraw yourself, you don't want to share your deep thoughts. You don't want to share about yourself with your partner. You don't want to tell him or her anything about yourself. You will get to know him or her better, and he too or she will not get to know you better, and the gap will be getting wider. But when you are willing to share, when you're willing to disclose what is inside of you to the other person, the person knows you better, and the desire to get closer to you will be there. The gap will be reduced. That's what we're trying to establish. So this prepares the grounds for physical contacts. The tendency of being fond of each other is increased. So couples must be willing to open up to one another, to disclose more of themselves so that they can feel closer. Number 2, relish moments of good times shared. Relish moments of good times shared. You know, in marriage, there are 3 stages. The first stage is always the honeymoon stage. The time of, oh, I love you, this, you know, exchange of gifts, pleasantries. You are ready to do all to please your partner. There are times you go out there for fun, you know, to catch some fun. There are some things you did and you laughed over it. You were so happy. You know, those moments are good moments shared, and they must be relished. They must be replayed in our minds always. There must be time to kind of relive them, bring them back to life. You know, that is very, very important. Those thrilling moments are moments that hold the relationship together. They are moments that should not be swept under the carpet. They should be relished at all times. So they must occasionally be remembered and, if possible, replay them again. They will help to build up the background for physical intimacy. Number 3, shake up the routine. Shake up the routine. Doing things in the same way all the time brings boredom, especially in the area of sex. When there is a, a routine, it looks like a timetable, way of doing it. Everything is just the way you did it yesterday. It's exactly the way you do it today. It's the way you have been doing it, and you want to still continue to do it like that to bring boredom. And it will rather kill the hunger, the desire for physical intimacy. It is not a good approach at all. So couples should try to develop new ways of handling things, like making love advances, foreplay, and positions during sex. This makes sexual moments exciting and deepens the hunger to be together. Must try to develop new ways of handling things. Almost everything that you do physically, try to create new ways of doing them. It will increase the hunger to do them more. Okay? So that's number 3. Number 4, plant sweet words in the heart of your spouse. Plant sweet words in the heart. Now, words can build, and at the same time, they can destroy. They have powerful effects in the ear and mind, especially when they are sweet and appreciative. Everybody likes to hear sweet words. You like to be appreciated. You like to be applauded. You want to be you want to hear something good in your ear. So you should try to do that. As you desire to hear from another person, you too should try to plant those sweet words in your partner's ears. This will get the mind prepared. It will get the mind lifted up and prepared ahead of time. So spouses should be humorous in their conversations. Pass sweet comments across the table to each other. Let your spouse know how much he or she is valued in your heart. These and other things will go a long way in stirring up the heart for one another. This is very, very important. Now, the mind Sorry, the body reacts according to the mood of the mind. So when the mind is stirred up, when the mind is happy, when the mind is decked with sweet words, the body itself will begin to yearn for closeness. Number 5, plan good creative romance. Plan good creative romance. Discover what areas of your spouse's body that gets him or her turned on when touched and do a good job of it. Don't just play around it, but do a good job of it. Find out the area of your spouse's body that gets him or her turned on in preparation for sex, and then do a good job in that area. It will stir up the whole body, to stir up the whole body, to prepare the ground for a very thrilling sexual moment. Number 6, make your bodies attractive. Make your bodies attractive. Now, this can be achieved by putting on good, possibly see-through night wears, taking good showers with quality and fragrant soap, applying good body perfumes or body deodorant, wearing good and neat clothes. All these has a way of attracting the spouse to each other physically. Don't come to the bedroom in the night wearing jeans trousers and padding your body. The eye fits on whatever it sees. And once the eye sees the body attractive, the ear can perceive good perfume, good, good aroma, good odor from the body of your spouse. It all goes through the mind and walk up the body to get ready for action. So make your bodies attractive. Number 7, couples should be fond of touching each other. There is a magic of closeness that takes place in a couple when they have a habit of touching one another as they converse. Don't always talk to each other from distance. As much as you can come closer, do. And when you are close to each other, as you are talking, put your hand on the person's shoulder. Just make sure, find a way of getting your body to touch your spouse. On the bed, don't sleep at the two extremes of the bed. Try to come close to each other. Look for every least opportunity to get your bodies close to each other. As you're sitting on the table, on the dining table, your legs under can be doing a whole lot of work there just to touch each other. And all this gets the body and the mind prepared for a thrilling moment. So body contacts over a time draws the couple emotionally together. There will come to a time when you will find it difficult to stay away from each other when you are fond of getting your bodies touched together. Number 8, celebrate yourselves and marriage together. And I want to add often. Celebrate yourselves and marriage together and often. Couples should set aside times and even vacations to celebrate themselves and to relish their marriage vows. Do it as often as possible to keep the memory, to keep yourselves refreshed, to keep your relationship, anew. Find time to celebrate yourselves. Find time to celebrate your marriage. Do not just allow it to be only that day, and after that day of the wedding, and then everything goes into extinction. Find time to relish those moments together. Number 9, feel the love bank of your spouse. Feel the love bank of your spouse. Now, every spouse has a love bank where all the love units he or she receives are deposited. That's what is called love bank. We are going to have time to deal with it on a separate, teaching. But that's what is called love bank. Now, just like the way you deposit your money in your bank account, so it is in marriage. There are those sweet words, those gifts that you receive, those good moments, those times of happiness. There are places where you store them in the bank of your mind. And you see, you can always withdraw from it to use it in a later date. So when we shall be dealing with this love bank, you will understand it more. But do your best to fill the love bank of your spouse. As you make deposits in his or her life, he will be putting those deposits in his or her account. And the more there are a lot of things in that account, the more he or she will remember you. And that will make him to always want to be very close to you. So these are some of the steps we need to take to develop our physical intimacy, to cultivate our sex field. And when you cultivate your ground, plant your seed, water it, then take care of the tendrils, remove the weeds. Over a time, you'll begin to harvest. Try these steps in your marriage, and you will harvest blissful moments in your physical intimacy. In our next teaching, we shall be looking at how to develop the spiritual intimacy, the third arm of intimacy. We shall be looking at it, and if these teachings have been a great blessing to you and you have not subscribed, please do subscribe and activate your notification button. Go ahead and share these teachings with your loved ones. It could be saving somebody's marriage from collapsing, and you may be helping somebody who is about to get into this marriage relationship to know how he or she will handle it and get the best out of it. Until then, God richly bless you. I pray your marriage to continue to be fruitful, to be stable, to be able to withstand inevitable storms that are hitting marriages across the globe today. God bless you. And thanks for watching.